This is a show where we talk about business, personal life, personal struggles, and the whole goal is that we work through whatever we're going through together and we push forward. Growing up, I was always interested in film. I run a couple of businesses, both in media, independent film companies, and I'm not gonna hold you, man. The last few years, starting in 2017 with the passing of my mother, have just been crazy. What's good, people? My name is Andrew, and this is a show where we talk about business, personal life, personal struggles, and the whole goal is that we work through whatever we're going through together and we push forward. A little bit about myself. I run a couple of businesses, both in media, independent film companies, and through those, I've also started a couple of nonprofits, one back in Maryland with my guy Mike, and another one that I started earlier this year. And over the last 10 years, I've learned so much. Just not just about business, but just how to grow personally. And I feel I'm at a place where I just need to keep learning, but also instill some of the knowledge I have and see if it resonates with other folks. And I'm not going to hold you, man. The last few years, starting in 2017 with the passing of my mother, have just been crazy. Mentally, physically, spiritually being tested. And not really understanding how deep the tests were until 2023, where shit really hit the fan. And that was one of the most one of the hardest years for me in recent memory. Financially, things went left. Physically, spiritually, like there was no connections that I had to the spiritual realm during that time that I can really remember. And mentally, it was draining. It didn't matter how much therapy I went to. It didn't matter how many times I would speak with folks. There was some kind of block that year. And I just kept making bad decision after bad decision, whether it was financially, whether it was within my family, with my wife, with my kids, the things I was ingesting from all the alcohol I was drinking, and that I didn't realize how much alcohol I was actually drinking until that year. Then it all started to kind of come into fruition. Over the last over 10 years, I have been drinking nightly. Every single night, at least 7 to 8 drinks of hard liquor every single night. And I didn't really see it clearly until 2023. And I still kept making even worse decisions in that space. All that to say, I have developed a wealth of understanding and knowledge around not just how to try to run a business and how to maintain it after almost losing it over the last couple of years, but also just a steady understanding that there's small steps to growth and seeing that it's not as simple as simply saying, I'm going to be happy and things are going to just change. It's not about, like, the mindset shift that I've experienced is very dive into the negative, embrace that these things happen and that you're going to feel this negativity toward them, with the understanding that it's temporary. And I think that's where the shift is. I've gone from, I live with my in-laws, it sucks, I hate it here, to I live with my in-laws, this is temporary, we are going to make it out of it, we're going to make it through it. Doesn't mean that the situation doesn't exist. It just means that my perspective on that situation has shifted. And I feel like I'm in that transition point now. I'm not where I want to be. And I have experienced a lot of self-doubt over the last few years. I mean, my entire life, I'm always minimizing what I'm going through. I'm always minimizing what it is I've done. Oh, I've done that, but that's not what that person did. I've done this, but it's not that great. And that has to change. You're not going to see the change you want if you keep minimizing what you do. And I'm here to be on this journey with you all to see what the other side looks like when we get there. And today, to start, I brought on my guy, Jared. Lifelong student, lifelong learner.
Yes, sir.
Who is going to ask me some questions. It's kind of different. I'm usually the one with the camera in front of folk asking questions.
Yeah, different.
I have no idea what he's about to ask me. So we're going to see what happens here, but I'll let Jared introduce himself. But yeah, appreciate you coming out.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
That was a great intro, by the way.
Hey, I did my best.
Like he said, I'm a lifelong student, just here to learn and gather as much as I can. A little bit about myself. I'm 23, about to be 23 years old. Recent student, recent graduate at a community college. Planning the educational journey for the future. Don't know how it's gonna go yet, but we gonna get there as we go.
Figure it out.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I'm here to just support my brother.
I appreciate that, man. Hit me with what you got. Let's dive right into it. Let's see where we go. See what happens.
Right. So you got a little bit into how you're an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
So could you just share a little bit more about your early life and how that kind of started or shaped your entrepreneurial journey?
For some reason, when you ask me that question, I'm thinking about how my mom always pushed me. Like, she was never the type to be like, if I would bring any kind of girl home, it's like, leave them alone, focus. You have X, Y, and Z to do. You have stuff to do with your life and these women that you're chasing, whatever, they don't factor right now. They're a non-factor, actually. You need to focus on you want to do film, or you need to focus on your film. You in school, you need to focus on school kind of thing. And she was not like a totalitarian kind of parent by any means, but she was definitely like, you need to focus on, what your goal is. And I think that's what gave me my mindset now. Like, I am one who I don't mind taking breaks, but if I go too long without something going on work-wise, I start to get a little fidgety. It's like, I'm not doing enough. What's happening right now? And there's like pros and cons with that, but that's where my work ethic comes from. For me, it's nothing to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day so I can get my workout in, get whatever meditation I need to get in, so that I can then focus on like the work that pays the bills, and then I can do my creative stuff later and go to sleep till like 11, 12. That feels like it's nothing for me to do that. And I feel like a lot of that was still by my mother. Growing up, I was always interested in film. I used to want to be an actor, and then I transitioned to behind the camera. My dad taught me how to edit on a VHS tape for reasons I don't know. It was like early 2000s when he was teaching me this. I'm like, bro, there had to be some kind of non-linear editing software out there you could have taught me this stuff on. But he decided to teach me to do it on VHS, on the TV. But it was good learning, I learned super old school how to edit kind of thing. So I've always been interested in film. And then in 2017, that was in October 2017, my mom had passed away. And I was still working a full-time job doing like something in like, I think litigation or something like that. I had already been doing film and stuff on the side. And, with the transition of my mom and all the things going on in my life at that point in time, I was like, you know what, there's no time but now. So that December, I filed for my my LLC, my EA and all that good stuff, and it came in on my birthday. The exact my paperwork and all that good stuff. So I officially became an LLC on my birthday, and then later in 2018, I went full time doing film, and it's just been a journey ever since.
Okay, so pulling from that journey, right? You said that you established Nova Initiative, in the same year that your mother passed. How has such a great loss like that affected you? I mean, I guess really until now, especially in a way of progression.
So the first thing I'll say there is that I've been very lucky to have a mother who instilled so much in me and who carried a legacy of her own. She worked for, I think, Lockheed Martin for the better part of her career. And it was clear she made decent, like really good money there. She was, I think, one of the higher ups within her departments and things like that. She was always just super analytical. But she always pushed you. Like you had like it was a weird balance of love that we got, and then also, but you have to focus. And that it stuck with me. I miss it. And I guess on another note, I miss to the point where I sometimes forget what that was even like because it's been so long. And so I find myself trying to reconnect to her in the spiritual realm. But I'm actually in a position to where I'm still trying to figure out my own spiritual journey and everything. So it's hard for me to connect to that. I'm not going to act like I'm the type who can hold conversations with her now that she's gone. I still have not figured out how to do that. I don't know how people do it. Because for me, I physically know that she's not here. I know that there's something in the spiritual realm, but I haven't tapped into that yet. And I don't necessarily know how to get there. I don't know why the hell I just told you that, but but I would say that loss has propelled me to want to be what I didn't get, I guess. Because like she passed, I'm 33 now. She passed when I was 5, something like that. And so in my growing years, all these challenges I'm having, and then my dad's not really there. I don't have an adult that I can really go to that I trust fully with all this. You know, she would be the person I would go to for anything all these kind of struggles that I'm going through. And so the progression has been just me just figuring this shit out. Basically, feeling like it's on my own, even though I do have a circle of friends I could try to tap into, but it's different when you're kind of navigating without parents in my life. I feel like I'm just kind of just in this space. All that to say, I don't know. I know that the loss of my mom has impacted what I choose to film. It's the reason why I started another nonprofit focusing on creating films around mental health. Because for the longest time, I would say I don't have any mental health issues. I don't struggle with anxiety. I don't go through the things that people, again, comparing myself to others and what they go through. I haven't been through X, Y, and Z events, so there's no way I should be sad. I should not be depressed. I shouldn't be anxious because I haven't been through what they've gone through. But this is not how mental health works. No. It's not how your brain works. Your brain doesn't care if you haven't gone through what they've gone through. It feels how it feels regardless. And it took a long time for me to accept that I may be exhibiting these kinds of feelings, these thoughts or whatever. And so her loss just propelled me to try to navigate my mental health and then put that into context with other people and what they're going through and try to help them through it as well. Because who knows if somebody else is just ignoring what they're going through because they think like me that they shouldn't be going through it. I hope that answered that question a little bit, but yeah.
Just more than does. No, absolutely. And just to give a little, to share in similarity, I feel that to the fullest. My mother actually passed away in 2019. Yeah. So like my junior year of high school. Yeah. And similar to your situation, that's such a great loss that it's something that I'm still actively learning how to live with, you know, it's especially since, I mean, most people know that mothers, like there's no replacing your mom, right? Yeah. That's a person in your life that provides a different kind of love, a different kind of teaching. And she instilled a similar discipline within me as well. So I'm still having like an internal battle of how to not only maintain the discipline or the teachings, but also find my own way and my own kind of like discipline.
Discipline. I feel like I'm lacking that in my older years. And I feel like that might be a direct result of her not being here. Because she was kind of that accountability, like driving my life. Force. Yeah. And now she's not here. It's like, it's almost like I can do whatever I want kind of thing now. And but it's also, I don't have, like I said before, I don't have that person to just go to expecting some kind of pushback or interference with what I want to do. And like, nah, this is what makes sense. So yeah, I definitely agree. It's a huge void that's left.
Yeah, it is. And it's a struggle at times, but beyond that struggle, what are some of the other struggles you faced in the beginning stages of starting your business?
Buying stupid ass equipment. I have a camera, the Canon C100 that I bought for some reason. I forget why I bought it. I think I saw it online and I bought it. And I did not use it outside of maybe a couple projects that were like really low budget, maybe free. I used it for my depositions, but that camera was like 2 times the cost of what I actually needed for my depositions. And I don't even use it for that anymore because it's too much for depositions, but it's not good enough for my film work. So I still had to buy a different camera for so that wasn't the only thing I bought that was dumb. But yeah, dumb equipment purchases. loans. I took out loans before I even had a really clear vision of where I wanted to be. Hell, I still have I know better where I want to be in business now.
Yeah.
But back then I was like, oh, I just need money to buy more dumbass stuff. Or I wanted this money so I could hire some people to do things that, oh, I'm going to make that back. And you know what? That's not how life works. Not how business works. So yeah, it started just doing that, having not like forming like thinking like, I guess believing people to taking people at their word when they say they're going to do certain things. I would almost always overdo it. Like I would do more than I needed to for someone who's not really reciprocating on the business side of things. So I'd be editing more than I'm getting back in return. Because I don't mind bartering, but I usually bartered where I came out at a deficit because I'm doing way too much for a little in return kind of thing. I didn't understand taxes. I never researched it. Somebody told me to hire someone, so I did. And I didn't think about it. And it's not smart. Like, even if you do hire someone like an accountant, you probably should research your local tax laws and what you can actually write off and things like that. Because I had a nonprofit for years that I was pouring money into. I was never told that I could write that shit off this whole time. And all I had to do was kind of get receipts and keep track of all that stuff and actually write receipts to myself since I own the nonprofit kind of thing. And further to that, I didn't realize that there's something, and this might be two in the woods, but it's something where you can kind of delay paying taxes. You write something to the IRS saying, hey, I can't pay them right now. I'm gonna do it in October. I never knew you still had to pay your taxes when you did the extension. The extension is just so that you can file the paperwork later. Doesn't mean you don't pay your taxes on time. I was never told this. So when I brought it, I was like, oh, I have to pay. She's like, you should know that. You've been in business for X amount of years. I was like, but you've never told me this. But I can't blame her for my lack of knowledge. It's such a common sense thing to me now. When I say it, like, duh, why would you not have to pay your taxes? But I did no research. So I went into it blind. Even with bookkeeping, I kept having arguments with my accountant doing bookkeeping because it was always incorrect. But I didn't have the space mentally, or I didn't feel like I had the time to really do it all myself. I didn't take the time to do it myself. I was trying to pay for things above what I was making. And I was always using credit. I have one credit card that's business. I think I have one that's $15K as far as how much is on that credit card. I have a loan that's almost $25K right now. I started out at like 30. And when I tell you it was 30 2 years ago, it's just now getting to 25. I've been paying it monthly. My guy, this $30K loan is probably going to cost me over $100,000 when it's off, over $50,000-$60,000 when it's said and done. When I finally pay it off, it makes 0 sense. But on the call, as far as the mistake I made, the standard loan was like, you can get approved for $3,000. The other loan that I ended up taking was like, it was a revolving credit line or something like that. He was, oh yeah, you're approved for $30K. I was like, why is there such a difference? And when I'm approved with a traditional loan versus this, he was like, oh, I don't blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Bro, it was every month, I think the interest is like $1,000 every single month. And I only pay, it is 18 something a month.
Yeah.
So that 18 something a month is actually almost $3,000 a month that is being taken out of the business for something. And it's so bad, I'm locked out of the loan. I can't even pull from it anymore because they probably saw that it got almost maxed out. I was like, oh, he probably can't pay this shit, so we're gonna lock him out, but he still got to pay it. Yeah. And then I called up. Can I get a little 6 month grace period? No, gave him a grace period. You gotta figure this shit out. They gave me a month, but then they was like, oh, you're gonna take a month off? Now I'm gonna up it. And yeah, all that to say, I made a lot of financial choices, business wise and personal. I took out personal loans for certain things. There were times where I had people on my employee, and that's why I actually did the revolving credit, because I needed to pay people, because the money that was coming in to pay them, it's almost like those little scams you hear where you get money from people and then you have to pay other people. That's kind of what it started to feel like, of my money that I was getting from this work was going to other bills and no longer going to the people that work for me. So I would get a loan to pay them, because I don't like not paying people. That shit feels, my soul didn't like it. Yeah. But in doing that, instead of just being honest, saying, hey, this is what's happening, I need X amount of time. I was like, I was going to take this loan and then I'll pay that off. But no, I would pay them, but that thing would not get paid off because again, bills don't stop because you got life shit going on. So a lot of financial dumb decisions I made. This goes into not really getting a mentor. I like to learn, but I didn't really invest in a mentor. I would do YouTube little courses here and there, but I never got somebody I could really just talk to and text, hey, does this sound like a good idea? Or even if I did have someone, it's like, I know in my heart it's a dumb idea, but I want to do it. So I'm just not going to say anything. A lot of stupid choices, all right, personally and from a business standpoint. So yeah, all that.
With an experience with just financial experience, what would be a lesson that you've learned that you could give to others? Hopefully they won't make the similar mistake to just, take whatever is given and not realize that there could be potential consequences.
If you aren't rich and if you don't have parents who are going to save you financially and you don't have it in your account to pay back immediately, don't take the loan. Don't do that shit. Like, it makes sense in your head to get a loan. Because for me, it was like I was doing depositions. That's constant income. So I'm gonna get this loan so I can pay my people up front, not up front, but have money in storage for them up front. And then when they start making money or they start making money for the company, then I can start funding it back into the loan or whatever. But I didn't have it in reserves. So if anything goes wrong, if I have a random medical emergency, if a client doesn't pay quick enough or whatever it is, if one thing goes wrong, that whole plan is fucked up. And once one thing goes wrong, I promise you.
Oh yeah, that
a lot. Yeah, it's like one person can't get paid, then you're pulling from this reserve to pay that person, then something else happens. So if you don't have it in your reserves, I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't go get a loan. If you have to take it on the chin, take it on the chin. Like, don't take the loan out. But if you do have some reserves and you have let's say you have $10K and you have savings or whatever. If you have that and you want to take out a $2,000 loan, hey, you up. Because if something goes wrong, you can pay off that joint quick. And then what you're at a loss as in your savings, then you can slowly start to rebuild that savings up. If you're taking out a $10,000 loan, you have zero savings. Like I didn't have savings doing this stuff. If something goes wrong, you're not going to be able to pay that off quick enough to not deal with the interest. So that 10K loan is not going to go to 20 or 30 because of the interest and all that good stuff. So on the loan side, I would say, unless you're rich and it doesn't matter, unless you have somebody who's going to save you financially, and unless you have reserves, I would say have 10K or more, I wouldn't take out any kind of business loan. And I guess it also depends on what kind of business you're in. In a creative space, hell no. No, sir. Restaurant, maybe. You might be able to get away with it because restaurant, you're almost guaranteed if you do it right to have residual income, like not residual, but kind of consistent income. People like to eat type shit. Ain't nobody really trying to pay 10K for a video all the time. No, it's just what it is. So it depends on kind of what you do, but I still think as a general rule, unless you have reserves, you really shouldn't be taking out big loans or any loans for that matter. And then as far as your credit goes, it's weird because I'm a iffy place with credit. My credit score sucks now. I had like 700 at one point, and now I think I'm like low fives. I was close to being great, and then 2023 happened. All that shit got cooked. I also got a mortgage that was literally one of those. Yeah, I can pay for it if everything goes right. If one thing goes wrong, I can't and I cannot, and I no longer live there now. That is another lesson. People say buying a house is the problem. Like, no, buying outside of your means is, and that could be whether it's a mortgage, whether you're renting. So you really got to take into consideration what your situation looks like. And yeah, the American news to have a house and all that stuff, don't believe the hype. Like the American, be honest with yourself, bro. Because like, if I was honest with myself, I'd have just stayed renting. There was no pressure for me to get the house, but I decided, no, I want to have my own. I want to be like blah, blah, blah. And here we are. That mortgage on top of the $1,800 a month loan, on top of kids, on top of everything else. Like, bro, it was a wrap. The moment I signed the paper, I think my heart was like, dumbass. But yeah, so yeah, that's my biggest advice, man. Make sure be honest, like you said, be honest with yourself. Make sure you got it before you go get a loan type shit.
Okay. Well, with knowing that, I do want to draw back to your family a little bit.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, you know, as you've been establishing a business and running a business, as well as some of these challenges and struggles that you've been facing, how have you been able to balance, or what does it look like balancing that work/family life? Because, I mean, you are a father, you have a wife. What does that look like?
Wife and kids. We got 2 kids. We got a third on the way, due in March this year. Bro, it's a struggle because I think for me, the biggest struggle is on one end, I don't think I work enough, even though I work a lot. On one end, I'm like, the reason I'm not where I need to be is because I'm not a grind till I die mentality. Like, I'm not about to work 24/7. I'm not doing it. I don't care what the research says. I'm not doing that shit. But I also understand that there's a consequence to not grinding that hard, I guess, in your initial building stages. Because if you don't, it takes a little longer to get to where you want to go because you're not consistently pushing out content. Like, I'm not marketing my stuff like that. It's just true. It's just a fact. I'm not doing the things that I think need to be done in order to make it to where I want to be. That being said, my schedule is still insane. Even though I try to keep my stuff as 9 to 5 as possible, I still get home half the time, still have other work to do. And I found an office that's 24/7. So there'll be times where I'm like, hey, look, I know I just got home, but I'm going to the office now because I got to hammer out these projects before I'm too bad behind on them, kind of thing. So it's hard, man. I haven't figured out the balance. My wife we've had so many discussions about it. She's started, it's more of an understanding going on now where she's not as, like, for me, it'd be things where she would be like, I just wish you'd be home more. It wouldn't be like an attack on me, but I would take it as one. She'd just be simply expressing her feelings and emotions about me not being home more, or me not being present when I am home because I'm working, or maybe I'm stressed out, whatever it is.
And that hurts.
Yeah, and all she's saying is,
you're not doing good enough.
Yeah, bro. So you get it? This man like 50, talking about 23. Bro. And that's what I would hear. She would be saying one thing, I'm hearing, you're not doing good enough. And I'm like, what do you want from me? And then my thing is, look where we at. We in your mama house. I don't got time to be chilling.
Yeah, literally.
Like, your job ain't about to pay. Like, clearly, one of us has to do this. I don't mind the work part of it, but what I do mind is feeling like it's not, or feeling like what I'm doing is a negative. Because I'm not out here going to bars and even my drinking. That shit was, I be in the house.
Yeah, intentionally away from the family.
I be chilling. But I don't be out here just at the bars talking shit about the family. I don't be out here hanging out with the boys or whatever. When I'm gone, I'm working. That's what I'm doing. And so hearing, I wish you were here more, I heard what you just said, you're not doing enough. And in turn, it's like, I don't know. It's conflicting. But we have had many conversations, and I do agree. Like, there are definitely more things I can do with the house, and I have to stop making excuses. Like, if I want to run this business and be a father, hey, suck it up.
Gotta do it.
Suck it up, my guy. Figure that shit out one way or another. But she also understands that. I think at some point, when I was at her mom's house, I was working in the garage. I was like, Bridget, look, you're not gonna like what I'm about to say, but I'm about to disappear. Not literally, but I'm about to be focused.
That back cave.
Like, yeah, and she understood it, she understands it. And like, we're working under that kind of mindset right now, but it's still hard for me. You know how moms have that mom guilt, bro? I have dad guilt all the time. When I get home and my kids sleep and I ain't see them for like the last 2 days, I'm like, man.
Yeah.
And then because kids don't know, like, my wife might understand, but what if my kid gets older and he's like, Dad, you weren't there half the time? I'm like, bro.
That question, that feeling of just like, what happened?
Yeah, and it's not his fault. It won't be his fault if that's what he thinks or whatever. Like, he'll come to me like, Dad, I just want to play with you, and I just want to lay down type shit. So, like, I've been forcing myself to just play and do these other things, but it's hard, man. I don't know. I can't. That's the one thing I don't know what the best advice is, because the only way I can see myself being more free is when I become more financially free. The only way I can see myself getting there is to continue pushing. But that means I'm going to have to keep doing what I'm doing, which keeps me away from the family more than I want to be. So it's understanding that it's open communication. You have to really communicate. I can't keep taking things personally without actually talking about it and seeing if what I'm hearing is what she's actually saying and not just how I'm interpreting it. And for her to understand that I'm not doing this because I don't want to be home. I like working. I like working. Don't get me wrong. I would rather be busy doing some kind of work, something creative, doing stuff like this. I like it. But I'm not doing it for the sole purpose of not being home. Like, I don't mind taking breaks. I don't mind being home, just chilling with you, watching movies. I would love to watch. She said, let's watch Harlem Nights. I was like, how are we going to do that? That was my question. How? Yeah. Where? We can't even watch with the kids. They're too small to watch that stuff. And then when we're going to have time, by the time I get home, you're going to be asleep. So it's definitely hard, man. But I think open communication is the best way. And just being intentional with your kids. Like, for me, if I'm up early, I told my son, look, you wake up at 6:30, let's wake up at 6 every morning. We can go outside, we can play basketball. From that, we go outside, we run around the block, we shoot the basketball a little bit, and then we go about the regular day or whatever. And I think doing small things like that, for me, was always, I need to spend massive amounts of time. Yeah. But if you don't have it, okay, what can you do? What can I do? Well, I'm up at 6 every morning. I can go out play basketball with my son. I can wake my daughter up. We can all go outside, be chilling in some nice fresh air, cold or hot kind of thing, and just be chilling. And that's one thing I can do. And I can stop making excuses for that. And it's just small steps. Instead of trying to do everything super correct all the time, it's like taking your small steps and your small wins. Absolutely. And going forward from there. So that's what I've figured out so far.
I commend you for that, because that's something that's really hard. That's not even really the word to describe it, but that's something that I've been able to acknowledge now. Because I wasn't necessarily that kid that wondered, like, damn, where's dad at? Because my dad was around. Like, I don't want y'all to think my dad was around. He was around. Right. But he was in a position similar to you where he had to work. He had to. So there were plenty of times where, I was asleep and then my dad was coming home. But he was able to take those moments, like in the morning to go play basketball, or like the little walks in the park and stuff like that. So I was able to grow up not really wondering, like, when is dad coming home, or when am I going to spend time with dad? I know that wasn't easy on him because he was working a lot. But I think it produced a good outcome obviously for him and us, because it established a nice relationship and understanding, especially as we got older, like now. But a little bit more in the personal life. How was, or can you actually explain your experience with dealing with not substance abuse. That sounds like you're doing cocaine or something. But with alcohol, can you explain the experience and that struggle? Whether it's how it started or how it's the journey of just get into it.
I started drinking with my friends back in high school. Like, we was like turning up type shit. But that was like, for me, I don't know if it was typical, but it felt like a typical teenager thing to do, just to go to parties and drink or whatever. So it wasn't something that I considered a problem. Like, pretty sure my mom felt it was a problem. But for me, I was like, I'm just living life or whatever. Then in 2015 or something like that, I broke my ankle. And this goes back to my work ethic. It took me out. So I was just sitting at home all day, every day. And at the moment, I would not have classified it as like depression, because I was like, why? It's just an ankle. You're going to be fine. It's me justifying it. But looking back on it, I was definitely depressed during that entire time. I was like doom scrolling. I was just sad. And then in that moment, in that same time, the girl I was talking to at the time ended up messing with my man's type shit in the same crib that we was in, bro. It was crazy, bro. So my whole mental was fucked up at that point in time. And I can't remember anything before that being this way, but I started drinking every night. That's where the habit, I think, formed. Before, it was just like, if I go out on the weekends or whatever, I'm going to drink, turn up, and I'll be good the rest of the week. That's when I started drinking every day, every night. And since I was home one day, I pretty much started every day where I was drinking just throughout the day kind of thing. But after I got better or whatever, the habit of nightly drinking just stuck. It felt great. Even now, it's one of those. That's where it all started. That's where I think the habit formed. I can't think of anything else prior to that where it would have been a habit. And going for like from that point until like 2022, 2023, I promise you, I didn't see it as an issue because I was still doing my shit. I was still, I was on my business stuff.
Seemed like no harm done.
Yeah, like my wife, I even asked her in the middle. I was like, hey, because we've been together for like almost 10 years, married over the last couple of years. And in 2023, when I really started to notice, like, it's crazy how it took me all this time to realize that it's a problem to be drinking hard liquor every night. Outside of maybe a month or two when I have my little dryuary or something like that.
Yeah.
But pretty much every night for almost 10 years, it took me 8 of those to figure out, oh, this might actually be an issue. I would ask her, like, do I change to a different person? She was like, no, but I have a schedule. It's after 7, 8 p.m. Usually when the kids are supposed to be like going down for bed or whatever, and that's when I drink or that's when I drink or whatever. If that schedule gets interrupted, I get irritated. I was irritated as fuck. Like, why are y'all still up? Why, like, and I could even in me trying to put the mask on as if it doesn't bother me in the back of my head, I'm like, oh my God, I just want to drink. Yeah. Or if I already started, damn it, now I gotta fucking
just put it down.
Now I gotta deal with life. I'm trying to disconnect from it before I didn't realize that's what I was doing. But that's when it started to really manifest as a problem for me. And in 2023, when all these other things are going on, like there are moments where my wife tells me she came to the room because she was either having an issue with the kids or something was going on, and I just didn't respond. I'm like, oh, I don't remember none of that. I'm like, guess I'm a deep sleeper or whatever. And then there are times where she'll find like empty bottles, whether it could be like, there's sometimes where I try to I did hide the shit. I tried to hide it. I would hide it in a way that's not really hiding it. I would tell her straight up, I'm hiding the fact that I'm drinking. But I didn't drink in front of her at a certain point. Because I did not want her to see that I was doing it. But I didn't mind like telling her the truth about it, if that makes any sense.
No,
I didn't like being seen, but I didn't mind telling you what I'm doing. Like at one point she was like, I think you're still drinking. I was like, yeah, I am. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you about it, but I just don't want you to see it. It's a weird complex for me. And so when I started hiding it, then I was like, okay, there's clearly a bigger problem because I didn't used to hide this shit. Why am I not hiding it? And usually that's when you start feeling shame around it. Or maybe that's when I started to feel like, okay, there's clearly something going on that's not okay with this kind of situation. But then there was a time like before our current daughter, who'll be here in March, she was pregnant before, but she had a early miscarriage, super early in the pregnancy. So with the new pregnancy, it was like 6 months in, she found like bleeding or whatever. So she's coming in the room frantic, like super scared, rightfully so.
Yeah.
And I had just stopped drinking 2 hours before. I had ate like some food or whatever, stopped drinking 2 hours before. So I'm up, but I'm definitely either some kind of tipsy or out of it, both, all that stuff. So we're just driving to the hospital. Like she's going like it was frantic or whatever. And she's like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not thinking about it. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to just get to this place. She don't know. Like she might have a thought. I don't think at that moment she's even thinking about the fact that I may have been drinking that night or whatever. Or I don't know what she's thinking about that. I've never told her this. So when she sees it, it'll be crazy. But I'm over here just trying to focus. I'm trying to get there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the moments where I'm like, bro, this is affecting your fucking life. Because anything could have happened. You could have crashed. You could have not woken up, and she would have just been on her own. You could have had to tell her to drive herself in that moment. And there are multiple times where she's come in talking to me, and she'll say, I'll even talk back. I have no recollection of these conversations.
Damn.
Yeah, man, and it's and being able to actually see the problem for what it was. Open my eyes to it, because there have been times where I tried to quit before, tried to slow down or whatever, and I'd just be irritated. But then this last time I stopped on December 1st or whatever. I mean, that before then I had stopped a couple times in November, did it again just to make sure I didn't want to do it. Yeah. Then I stopped in December, and it actually felt freeing. But the fucked up thing about alcoholism is to this day, I am still like, I miss it. Bro, there's something about it. Bro. Yeah, that craving hasn't gone away. They say after 30 days, you should be somewhat mellowed out. And that's true. I don't need it, but I want it. I want that shit so bad some nights. And it's like, it doesn't just stop. Like it rewires your brain so much. A few months ain't about to just change that. And luckily I'm in this community on this app called Reframe, and you can kind of vent. You can talk about it. It's like AA, except not a cult. Sorry. Not you, but you know, the people. Yeah. But yeah, it's like AA, except for someone like me who doesn't like rigidity kind of thing. It just, because they're more open to like if you want to cut back a little bit or if you want to quit. I happen to go on the sober track, is what they call it, and it's a group of people just trying to live either sober or just a less alcohol in their life kind of life. And being a part of that group has helped me. Just seeing other people going through similar experiences. And just being able to tell them, like, there's a time where I was like, man, I wanted to drink so bad I ate McDonald's. They was like, hey, you chose McDonald's over the drink though. And that's the perspective change. For me, I know McDonald's is terrible. That's honestly, if you eat that shit too much, it's worse for me. But I'm not doing that as much. Like, their point is, you were doing alcohol every day. You chose something, although terrible, that's not that, because you didn't want to go back into that life. And honestly, like my eating habits are slowly but surely getting better. They're still not where they need to be. But I'm seeing a shift in other parts of my life now that I've stopped drinking for almost 3 months now. Yeah. And I don't see myself ever going back. I don't need to go back. I don't want to go back, although the craving is there. Yeah. I do miss the feeling. Like, even come here tonight, I was like, man, this would be a great night to drink. It feels good outside. I can go chill out, go to my front little porch area, just sit in the grass and just drink. Cooling. Bro, I was with Kel the other day on this porch, and Kel was like, man, it'd be a great place to smoke. I'm like, man, it'd be a great place to drink, bro. And it's crazy how we think that way. Like, why do these little things make us want to go to these toxins? So literally, and I did it to myself. Like, there was nothing, again, I guess, see, I'm minimizing again. There are things that happened that led to me to drink on a nightly basis. And I had to get to a point where I actually saw it as the problem it was, because I did it for 8 years. And then it took 2 years after realizing it was a problem to do something about it. Yeah. And I had been trying for 2 straight years, and I understand it's a journey. I understand I might fucking fall. You know, like slips happen. But I'm not going to adjust myself harshly one way or the other. I'm not going to adjust others harshly either, because it's all a journey. I just know that right now in this moment, I don't want to go back, because I want to be, if something happens at 2 o'clock in the morning, I need to be fucking aware. I can't say I'm a father and a protector and shit and then be out here, I don't feel anything about what you just said. That's crazy. Yeah. That's insane. And I felt insane when I said it, but there was no other thing I could think of in that moment, because I need to zone in. I need to get to this hospital. And yeah, man. So the journey has definitely been tough. It's been a realization, but I think it's been important for me. And I hope that it can, I don't know, help others see that, like, there is a way out. For me, I was like, there's no way I'm stopping drinking, because it's fun. If anything, I want to limit it. I'll do less, maybe once or twice a week. But I feel I feel like the world is different, bro. Like, waking up without any kind of foggy brain every day is like, I was waking up with a foggy brain every day. Like, bro, why is this? Like, why? Yeah, it's like this doesn't feel good. So, yeah, it's a total perspective change. It definitely feels better now being on this side of it. But I understand that life is life, and I have to just keep taking it one day at a time, one small step at a time, and not going too high or low in either direction, kind of thing.
That's a level of self-awareness, though, that really allows you to become that better version of yourself, I think, anyways. But before I get into more on self-awareness, I do want to relate to that. So in my past, other substance abuse, I won't get into specifics, but I do remember being so deeply in it But I, at some point, acknowledged that it was, okay, this is a problem.
Yeah.
But that crave was still there. So when I noticed it was one thing, but the time it took to get out of that was so different. But similar to you, even now, like I'll be honest, I have no desire at all to indulge, right?
Yeah.
But that feeling of like, damn, this would really be a great time to like really, I don't know what it is, but it's just, I don't know, maybe it's the nostalgia from the pleasure that I gained during that time frame. But it's, the desire is killed, but those moments are still there. So I do relate to that heavily. But that self-awareness is something serious though. But getting into that self-awareness and that shift, when was another major shift or another major moment regarding your business where you again became self-aware of either yourself or your situation?
It might not come off like this, but I am a people pleaser by like nature. And like, I think I try to mask it pretty well, where it kind of seems like I don't do that, but like literally in conversation, I can be telling you one thing, and if you say something to the contrary, you will find me agreeing with you, or trying to seem like, all right, not as on the other side of that as I was, because I don't want to come off combative or something like that. Or in my business dealings, I would see myself, like when I'm dealing with clients, I hate talking about price, because if I feel like it could be high for you, even though I know for me, it's going to take this amount of work, it's going to cost what it's going to cost. It's like, yeah, it'll be this much, but only if it works with you. I always say that. It took me so long to get to the point where I just tell them the price and let them feel whatever they're going to feel instead of trying to feel for them.
Yeah.
But it's because I want people to be happy. I want them to be okay with whatever the price is, or I want them to, feel comfortable about it, versus doing what makes sense for my business, which means sometimes people are just not going to fuck with your pricing, which is fine. But with that, I'm pretty sure I have undersold. Oh my God, recently, about a month ago, I had this client call me to do some sound work. And I didn't ask too many details. I was like, yeah, I can do that for like $350. Then she started talking about, she's gonna be bringing in it's a videographer coming in from LA who tried to use the Alexa blah blah minis. I never heard from her again, bro. I underbid myself to this client because if you're working with a DP who's using like Reds or Alexas, their day rates are like 16 plus, maybe 12 plus, wow, even more. Sound mixes are like 1,200 plus. Literally, had I asked one or two more questions instead of trying to jump the gun and assume what their budget might be, I would have been in a better position. Because once I heard LA, I was like, yep, I fucked that up. Once I heard her say that, I was like, yeah, it's a wrap. I'm not hearing from her again. I never did. I undersold myself to a client. And that's an important shift, because one, I should never undersell myself regardless. I should always say what it is going to be. And then if somebody comes back to me to discuss, then I can, or how can we help each other kind of thing.
Right. That's where that tendency to do good can come out. Yes. I don't have to think for them. That's where the shift is now. I don't need to think for people. I need to stop. Why? I don't know what their actual budget is. I don't know what your budget is. I'm just talking to you right now. Right.
I have no idea if you can afford a $10,000 video. Nope. But I can start a conversation with, this is the proposal. You can look at that and you can say, fuck that. You can look at that and be like, I'll think about it and I'll never hear from you again. Or you can look at that and be like, hey, I can't do any of that, but here's what I can do for you. And then we can talk, because I'm giving you the opportunity to say whatever you want to say, versus me assuming, I don't know if you can afford 10K. Let me just drop that down by a few thousand. Because now I'm out of whatever business I could have potentially gotten.
Getting that minimum.
And you could have been somebody, you could be somebody who hears a price and goes, ooh, that sounds low. He must not know what he's doing. And that's huge in business. Like, there are certain clients who literally want to hear a price that reflects what they think the value is. And bro, why would you underbid yourself to that? So that's been a major shift in just kind of saying what it is with pricing, and not just price wise, but just anything in business, just saying how you feel, saying how you want it to be, and then allowing the client or the other business to make their own choices. Stop thinking for people. Stop trying to please them before you even know what they need. Like, I'm not psychic. I'm not a prophet. So like, I don't know what they need. I'm just assuming based on other interactions what it could be. And that's a terrible business practice. You should go in knowing your value, knowing your worth, knowing why you're charging what you're charging, and being okay if people take it a certain way.
Yeah.
And again, you don't know. Like, one of my biggest clients during COVID was a client I assumed didn't have money based on how she initially emailed me. She happened to be one of our highest paying clients. Because all I did was give her a chance.
And you could have missed out.
Missed out completely just on my assumption alone based on her email. And there's something called the DISC profile, DISC. And my coach, my business coach this year, she sent it to me to do, and it read me to a T as far as how I am in conversation, why people might relate to me a certain way, why they may take things a certain way when I'm speaking, and then why I might take things certain ways when they're speaking. Like, it just gives you a whole personality on like workplace and how to interact with folks, clients, the people you work with, customer, all that good stuff. And that's been a total shift. That one validated that I'm not a terrible person for how people like, because I used to think, does anybody like, it feels like I'm the only one who thinks this way, or maybe I am too direct when I say certain things, because that directness can rub people the wrong way. But what's really happening is we're two people having two different conversations at the same time. I could be saying one thing, but because of how I say it and your personality type, you're hearing it a certain way. And then vice versa. When you're saying something because of my personality type, I might hear it a certain way. And we're having a disconnect, but it seems like tension when it's not. It's literally just miscommunication, even though we feel like we're saying things verbatim. We feel like we're saying it in a way that makes sense. So that has given me one, grace for myself, and then grace for other people to understand that there may not be some underlying motive. It may just be that we are just communicating in ways that don't match our personalities. And we need to figure out a way to navigate that. And okay, how can I discuss this with you in a way that will make sense and in a way that's not combative? Like, I don't have to speak the same way to get the same point across. So how do I need to talk with you to make that all make sense? I would recommend everybody do a DISC profile. I think you can do it for like $200 or less. You can do it for your family. Like, I was telling my wife about it. She was like, yeah, it sounds like you. Yeah, you do come off very direct a lot. And I was like, you should do yours. You're probably more, we probably have very combating DISC profiles. But I think just understanding that one, other people are like this helped. It just validated my life experience at this point for business. But two, it helped me understand other people a lot more and understand that maybe they're not being passive. Maybe this is literally just how they communicate. You need to figure out how to communicate with them too. Like, it's not on them to adjust to you. I need to figure out how to adjust to their personal style of communication. And we need to figure out how to do this thing together so that we can come to the same accord. And it's taking the judgment out of the communication for me, man. It's like every day is miscommunication. We need to figure out how to unmiscommunicate that shit, basically. Simply put. And
that's a task. Oh my God. You with some of the closest people to you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that if it wasn't $200, I'd do it today. That's something that's definitely
something like 160, 200, something like that.
Nah, those tests really they're really eye openers for sure.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about a moment where you almost gave up, but you decided to keep going. And then not necessarily inspiration, but that motive to keep going, what was that?
I would say when we moved into my mother-in-law's house was, and I wasn't like giving up on life, but like just really considering I need a job. But I know once I get a job, like I know people still do the business stuff when they get a job, but it's so hard to actually focus on the business. And I know if I got me a job that whatever I'm trying to do with this business is, I'm gonna say it's on pause, but it's probably dead because I'm gonna now have to transition all this energy into this other company and to do my job well, kind of thing. So that was, I almost felt like I had to though. It was like, bro, your business ain't bringing in enough money. Y'all moved in with your mother-in-law. Your wife ain't like her job doesn't pay enough, and it's not like she can just like it would be great. She can't just quit and go get another job. She can't just quit and do it. You don't have the money to fund anything if she quits to start a business. You have to do something. And I was applying and shit. I'm just glad no one reached back out. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I don't have a job today, because no one reached back out. And I think it was God driven for that to happen, because had someone reached out, that would have fucked up what I'm doing currently, what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And even though I'm still not where I want to be financially, I know now for sure that I'm not going to go to no job. Like, it's nothing against jobs, but for me, I have plans with this business, with these businesses and these nonprofits, and they need my full attention right now. And so that was the moment of like just feeling super like I had no reserves left.
Real low.
It's over. You did good. You know what? You lasted 4 more years than most businesses, and you're black.
Pat on the back.
Most businesses die after like 3 years, and you did good, sir. So I was ready to just throw it in. Go ahead and give me a job, hopefully in media. And I think that's where I fucked up. I kept going for media jobs. I wasn't trying to do no regular, whatever, other kind of job.
I don't blame you.
And then it didn't happen. But the shift happened to be in my perspectives. I was talking to this guy, this business mentor of mine who I can reach out to every now and again. And he was just like, so how much do you gross? Or how much do you make? I was like, I probably brought in 30K, something like that last year, net. He was like, well, what do you gross though? Like, what is your account? I was like, I've grossed like maybe 150 plus each year. He was like, you see 6 figures go through your account every year? And I was like, oh, that's a perspective that I could take, because I'd never seen it that way before. I only see the end result, and that's crazy. Because he was like basically saying, bro, you literally see 6 figures in your account every year.
Right.
Like,
and you
that's
just
something, and you just, I'm focused on this. He's saying this. I'm just like, nah, but this is what I make though. I don't make that 100, blah, blah, blah. That goes to everybody else. I only see this. He's like, no, but there's 6 figures flowing through your account every year. So it's just like, bro, that's insane.
That's big. That's big.
To this day, like, that has stuck with me. But I'm still like, I only made 45 because you last year. I need it. But it was that. It was also sitting in my garage one day, and for no reason. I think I don't know what it was, but I was just thinking out loud. I was like, damn, I'm in a garage right now. I'm about to take off. It's not even my garage. It's up from here. There's literally nowhere to go. And that perspective was different, because when I first got there, I was like, I'm in somebody else's garage right now. This is terrible. Now it's like, nah, I'm in someone else's garage. So there's literally no more room. There's no more room for other movement but up. Like, and that's where I'm focused on. Like, I'm not ignoring the fact of where we are, and I'm not, it's still stressing me out. Yeah. But it's temporary. And my mindset has went from just delving, or what do you call it? Dwelling in this situation and just being so sad about it all the time, to being like, yeah, this shit sucks. When it hits you, feel it, but also it's temporary. You know that you're destined for more. Your family is destined for more. Your wife is doing everything that she can. Your kids are fucking awesome. They're terrorists, but they're awesome. And you're going to get out of the situation. You just have to keep pushing. And I think what the biggest issue is, people don't know the timing, and that's me right now. I don't know the timing. I don't know if it's gonna be next month. I don't know if it's gonna be 3 years from now. But eventually, you're going to get to where you want to be. And that's all I can focus. I can only focus on what I can control. I can't control the way these things are moving right now. I already fucked up. The loans are there. That is what it is. I can't control that. But I can't control everything I do in the now. And I cannot dwell on the past. I cannot trip about the future. Right now is what I can handle. And that's what I'm focused on. And that shift, and the idea of just seeing things in a different light, like the whole bank account situation, is huge. And that's been a huge motivator for me going forward.
Okay. So with that change of perspective, how do you go about currently now about planning or implementing new business ideas or even projects similar to this one?
Yeah. So I have a better idea about where I want to put my energy into business wise. Like, I still don't mind doing creative projects with Creative out here, whether it's free or super cheap. I don't mind doing that stuff, but I definitely have more boundaries around it. And I'm only doing it for people who have already consistently done things with me already. I don't just, if it's like somebody off the street just asking for something like I'm like, I
Just
don't,
adding that to the plate.
I'm like, no, I'm not, look, I can't do that unless it's a project I actually like truly believe could be really like powerful or whatever. But for the most part, I have a very clear vision. Like I want Nova Initia to be like the staple in independent cinema. Same thing with A1 Day One, the partnership on with Kelvin. I want it to be where I want it to be like A24, where we're creating these high quality films, documentaries, narratives, whatever, in the indie film space. But we also give back. Like we're giving game to the community. We're helping people level up what they do so they can do things on a budget at a high level. I want to change the narrative of independent cinema. And I know AI and all that stuff is here, but I want to change that with the people. Like I don't have any issue with people like using AI and creating AI films or whatever. I don't ever see myself creating a film with AI. But I want us people to be able to create really masterful projects on tight, limited budgets. And I want my company to be kind of the leader in that. But further to that, I want to be the go-to for telling branded stories. Like if you have a company, like we went to Canada for a nonprofit. We helped them raise $50K in like a month with the video we created.
Damn.
And this young lady out here, she did this beer contest. She had to record and script make a script for. She won $40K off our student loans. Like we want to do stuff like that. Create this high quality content for your brands, for your businesses, for these artists that help propel them forward in their careers, in their business, whatever they got going on. My whole mission, like, yeah, the money is cool. Money is necessary to pay the bills. We need it. But if I can actually impact somebody to change the course of their life with what we can do, that's my mission. We started a whole nonprofit called the Finding Inspiration Foundation. I don't know if Randy knows. He does a lot of the shooting for that. And I just started the nonprofit. The 501c3 is in process and that's going to be a nonprofit that focuses on creating films surrounding mental health. And because like we see a lot of films that talk about mental health, that go into mental health struggles, but I don't see myself reflected enough. As far as I think a lot of my jaded personality around the whole mental health thing is that and the idea that I have to have gone through something extreme to feel mental health issues, to have mental health struggles. And this goes far before my mom passed away. Like just you can grow up feeling anxious and having bouts of depression. Now, maybe you're not depressed, but you have bouts of it. You have these moments where you are sad that you just ignore because you don't think you should be feeling this way because you don't think you've been through anything.
Or know why.
Yeah, you just don't know why. It's like, why do I feel this way? But I shouldn't. And I know that's where I was. And then just telling real stories like you have single parents. I have no idea how single parents survive. Like I have no idea how my mom survived doing that. And like my dad was there every now and again, but not often. So she was doing a lot of this on her own. And I have no idea how they can mentally, like I have a friend right now, like she's struggling just mentally. She might be good, her daughter's good, everything like that, but mentally struggle. 5 a.m. every day, kid, you're trying to do this for yourself, but your kid's right there. She's young, like all that to say, as far as the business plan, my business planning goes, it's all in service. And a part of it is definitely, reaching more clients, getting more businesses on board. But I really want to create an impact, especially now, man. There's so much, I want to call it nonsense going on. And so much of the same shit that we see in films or in media. And I really want us to be able to create impact. And we can make fun, entertaining films, but I still want them to be impactful. I want people to leave feeling something from the film, even a client, even if we're doing a branded spot for them. Like I want that to hit home with the viewers. Like I want to create impact at the end of the day. That's the nuts and bolts of it all. I want to create impact.
So with that being said, what can the listeners expect moving forward?
They can expect, I start So for everybody watching today, I will be starting to release one film a month. That's the goal. Surrounding mental health. One short episode of my starting in April, and they will each. It's like an anthology series. It'll all have different mental health struggles as themes within them. But the ultimate goal is to create spaces where we have a community screening event, and then we have nonprofits there dedicated to mental health, so that there are some tangible resources for those who come, so that they don't only get to have the experience and feel what they feel, but there's also a resource for them afterwards, so that they can actually get the help that they need or help someone else that may need the help. So they can expect more films, more episodes for our Finding Inspiration series. They can expect more just marketing, creating branded stories, kind of like what you're doing with this interview, doing this for clients, exploring partnerships with bigger brands to help spread messages of like hope and unity out there, getting other businesses more clientele through these kinds of discussions. They can just expect us to really hit the ground running with our nonprofit and within our business, and just seeing more independent cinema, and seeing more workshops, seeing more of us speaking about how to be a better filmmaker, especially in the day and age of AI and technology, and how to propel their career. And with this show in particular, I will be doing consultations with folks who come on who are trying to run a business or doing something in the creative space.
Got the experience.
Yeah, to where, hey, I'm not certified. I'm not like an expert, but I have experience. And I can definitely talk to folks about that experience and take what they tell me and kind of give them a little roadmap to how they can get to their next step, because that's what's missed. That's what I was missing. And still, I finally have a business coach now, but helping people reach the next phase of their life, whether it's in business or personal growth, so they can expect more of this, more conversations. And like, I'm gonna be real about it, man. I'm not somebody to sugarcoat anything when it comes to these things, but I'm also gonna be real about my own past and what I got going on. And it's not all pretty. It's like, yeah, it's kind of crazy out here sometimes. So yeah, they can expect real conversations, more independent media, and just kind of growth, man. I'm on a journey with y'all. I'm still in the middle of it. I'm still here. And I'm here to show people that it's all attainable. You just got to keep pushing forward, keep moving forward.
Sounds good. Got a lot.
Yes, sir.
Going ahead. Little bites, but a lot to expect in the future.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. All right. So I made a post the other day about this one black film I ain't seen, and people took my black card. So we're gonna talk about it in a little bit. So Jared, you got some film names, some film titles for me?
Absolutely.
Hey, Ryan, you got a pen?
Plenty on here where I'm sure somebody was gonna take my black card too. Any particular order, I could just randomly go.
Just randomly go. I'm gonna make a mark every time I've seen the film.
Okay. Right. Hustle and Flow.
Nope.
No judgment. Drumline.
Yes, sir. Yes,
oh
sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
I knew that one. All right. White Chicks.
Oh yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
The Wayans.
Yes, sir.
Boys in the Hood.
I seen that one.
I was saying, no, you ain't seen that one. Coming to America.
Oh yeah, I seen that. I don't like it though.
There we go. Life.
I don't remember it. I know because that's what Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, I think.
Life. It's, I'm the wrong person to ask, but I know I've seen it, but I can't tell you.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm at with it. I'm going to put it as a no for now.
Why Did I Get Married?
Yeah, that's Kevin Hart, right? I'm going to say yes. I've seen that one. Yeah, I've seen that one.
All right. Menace to Society.
Funny enough, no.
Really?
I've seen the one with the Wayans, the spinoff, the spoof.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I haven't seen
honestly,
the real one.
Hey, that counts. That count. Friday.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay. Johnson's Family Vacation.
I don't know what that is.
Really?
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, no, you got to find out for yourself. Okay. 31. Baby Boy.
I know I'm supposed to have seen that, but no, I have not seen that.
I don't even know what that is.
I've heard it so much in the black community, though.
No idea. I hear that people call people that in the North, but Soul Plane.
No.
With Snoop. I haven't seen it either.
I was going to say Denzel. That's crazy. So one Denzel?
At least I think it's Snoop. I hope it's Snoop,
wild.
or else I'm not to get slandered. How High?
Damn.
I think that's
I feel like
the
I've
one
seen
with
it. That's
DC Young Fly, maybe. I think it's
DC
that
Young
one.
Fly. No, he did the new version of it.
Oh, I got you.
That's back in the day. I don't remember it though.
All right. What about Dope?
Nope. Damn.
You said nope?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
that's crazy.
I haven't seen that one either, but I heard it was good.
Damn, I feel bad. That sounds familiar too.
Let's see. Love and Basketball.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Okay, yeah.
Nonsense movie. I hate that movie so much.
Really? Oh, what about Get Out?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. Waiting to Exhale. That's new for me.
No. I think that's one of the crazy women, right? Oh, she was portrayed as crazy. I don't know.
No idea. Above the Rim.
No.
I mean, this one not on here, but Joanna Man.
No.
You haven't seen that one?
No.
Oh, you missing out. Okay. Waist Deep.
Nope.
Damn,
it's crazy.
ATL.
Yes, that's T.I., right? Yeah, I've seen it.
House Party.
No.
Poetic Justice.
No. I know I should have, though.
Juice.
Ooh, no.
Okay. New Jack City.
Oh, hell no. I don't know what that is.
Set It Off.
Yes, seen that.
Crooklyn.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. Crook Brooklyn, maybe? I don't know. Brown Sugar.
No.
Damn, there's a lot on here that I really don't know either.
Bruh.
Boomerang?
No.
I know the cartoon Boomerang, but Lil Jones.
No. Love Jones? No.
Players Club.
No.
It's not looking good for you.
It's not looking good. I thought I was on a roll at first, but I thought it looked good.
A Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
I've heard of it so much, but I've never seen it.
Two can play that game.
No.
Damn. I'll be honest, I've been going out of order, so I don't even remember which ones I hit.
All I know is Moonlight. Oh, I should have. That's been important, but no.
So many people have recommended that one to me, and I haven't seen it.
It won so many awards, too.
Yeah.
That's sad.
All right, last one, The Christmas.
Ooh, no.
I don't know either.
I got about 10 of those, and I'm pretty sure you write off at least 20, 30 of them. Damn. Well, yeah, that's why my black card I've been taking. Yeah. Look. Just because I'm a filmmaker doesn't mean I watch all the films, all right? I got other stuff to do. I'm busy.
I get it. Of all people, I get it.
All right, so we can wrap this up. Some rapid fire. What you got for me?
All right, I'm going to go quick with these now.
All
right, so what's the best advice you ever received?
Don't worry. Keep
One
moving.
book, one movie, or podcast that changed your perspective?
Get out.
Ooh, okay. What's your definition of success?
What do you call it? Wealth. What do you call it? Generational wealth.
Okay. What helped you push through the hardest moments? Got into that a little bit, but.
Oh, kids.
If you could start over tomorrow, what's the first thing you do?
That's not again.
If you could start over tomorrow, what's the first thing you'd do?
Invest in a game stock.
Okay. What's a common myth about business that you disagree with?
Grind till I die.
That's a good one. If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Wait until you're 35 to have kids.
Biggest lesson from a past failure. And that's the last one.
Stop taking loans out if you don't got no reserves.
There you go.
Well, I appreciate you, my guy.
Absolutely, man.
But that was some good ass questions, man. I appreciate that, dog.
Good ass answers. You got deep.
And I didn't know, especially that first question. I don't know where all that rambling even came from me, but I appreciate you, bro. We might have to bring you back, man. We might have to do a little follow up eventually to see where we are, and get some. And also, if you got stuff you want to just discuss, you can be one of our guests that we talk to. So
much of that I connected with you. So if they willing to hear, I'm willing to spill.
Yes, sir. Welcome. Thank y'all for watching. It's my guy Jared. I appreciate him for coming out, interviewing. And we got more coming out, y'all. So I'm excited to see what this journey leads us. Let us know in the comments any business or personal related questions. We're going to be tapped in. Let me know, man. We out. Pow. Pow.